It's
All
good.
right. We are live on Facebook with my friend and one of my favorite clients to work with in regards to just watching her transformation. And the reason being is because Haley, first off, I feel like we're family. I don't know why. There's just been a part of this cool journey that we've been part of this. But more importantly, Haley, you are you are young, starting off your journey. And what's been so powerful and transformative to be a part of this is to see you step into some things um, that even you, I remember our first guy, like, I didn't even know I was going to step into this stuff. I didn't even know I had to step into this stuff. But I know right off the bat, you've had this amazing transformation of your mind, body, and spirit. And today, I really wanted to get you on my feed because first and foremost, you deserve to be celebrated. I told you right before we started, I'm just you are a leader of women, and I'll say that. Say that behind the scenes. I say this. You're a leader of women. You are in the process of doing some amazing things with just your life. And so I know this is just a glimpse that we got to experience. But so Haley, first and foremost, what made you reach out to me in the first place?
Yes. So I think I originally came in with this idea of I've always been super into fitness, always been super into working out, tried my best with different diets, been super into like keto, maybe I'll do a juice cleanse, maybe I'll do XYZ. Nothing was consistent and nothing was long term. And so I kind of got to this point where I was like, I know I have the work ethic and I know I have the self discipline and I know I have the determination. What part of the equation am I missing? And so eventually I was like, okay, if I had someone that was able to ground me, to not only be like, okay, eat this, work out with this plan, but to say like, you've got this and here are the steps to do it, then I feel like it would push everything together. And so my father actually helped me introduce, kind of link
Thanks,
us
Pete.
together.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Pete.
Shout out to Peter. He's amazing. And he was like, I love this guy, Luke. You just got to check him out. Just get in there, just see what happens. You never know, but one conversation, it could change your life. And I was like, all right. And then I did. And the rest is history.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, I appreciate that. That's been it is the rest is history right now because now this is we're like best buds now. So Haley, you have this journey, this awareness, this piece where I think you at I just I was so great at such an early age. You had this profound fork in the road, and you just ask yourself like, hey, is am I really aligned with what I want in life? And that was really the question that we really threw out there, right? You're like, yo, bro, no one's asking me like what like I just thought we are gonna do this some fitness thing, right? And that was just kind of like a stop in your track. But then you started thinking, you're like, well, am I? So tell us more about like your journey with that and really just stopping your tracks and asking yourself that question.
Right. So I definitely came into our first meeting and I'm much a planner. So in my head, I'm like, all right, I'm going to get in there. He's going to tell me, eat this, do this workout plan, and there goes 30 pounds. And I'm like, yeah. And then I got in there and he was like, what's your purpose? And I was like, whoa. I was like, I don't even know if I've thought about this in a while. And it was something that I really hadn't, taken the time out to think about. And so at first I was like, what does this have to do with my journey of fitness? And then I really thought about it and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to be thinking about this stuff more because I'm really into positivity, optimism, and, reading into a lot of self-healing and growing and being like that. But I've never actually challenged myself enough to think about it. And so it really started to push, not only what am I thinking about it now, but where did that get rooted in? Where have I started feeling this feeling of I'm missing this piece of this equation and I want to be in this place? And so you kind of forced me to really go back and think, where did this all start and stem that I started feeling this? I just want to fix it. I just want to be better. And I just want to get there. And it really challenged me, but I don't think that if I would have unlocked that and really tapped into that, I would have been able to progress physically because I think mentals is where it all begins.
Wow. Ladies, this is why I'm like, this is what you're that's gold what you just said in regards to having to take a step back and really just asking yourself a hard question. And I think you're speaking to a lot of women right now who are getting lost in the world of identity, especially in the world of fitness. My goodness, man, I don't go on Instagram on purpose. So I'm not on Instagram. It's just crazy what the images that the pressures of being women. And I know that's part of some things that we worked on, but there's this power that you got to unleash to step into. And I think that was really, and this is what we're really referencing, but talk to me more about this transition of like personal responsibility and like ownership, because you've had like this huge shift in that in regards to your health and your well-being.
Right. I think growing up, especially being a woman that's trying to come into the realm of really understanding her body and fitness, like comparing yourself to other things is inevitable. It's never going to go away. I feel like we oftentimes want to find the solution and I just need to stop comparing myself to other people, but that's so subconscious. That's almost impossible. So what really helped me with conversations with you that helped shift my mindset is, okay, it's not about shutting out that door that might be impossible to shut, but rather opening a new one that says, I know who I am. I know what I can control. How can I make the best version of myself possible, given what I know and the resources that I have? So it kind of unlocked this realm of, okay, I know I'm not going to look like every other Kendall Jenner that I see on Instagram, and that's totally okay. What if I look like the best Haley Skyko that I can see myself being every day that I go into the training and the fitness and the learning about who I truly am? And that's when I unlocked this ownership and confidence in the journey that I was taking. Because at first it was, okay, I'm just going to eat this because I think it's good for me and I'm going to work out because I know that fitness is important. And when you own it, it's, I'm doing this fitness and this well-being and this spiritual journey for Haley Skyko, not for this girl that wants to look like all these other people out there. And that's really where the ownership came in.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. I love that. I love that. You're doing it for you. And so many times I have conversations like, hey, why is this important for you, client? And I don't know, I'm doing it for, my spouse, or I'm doing it for my kids. And you want to know something that's really interesting? Those are usually the people that like throw in the towel because they realize whether they get fit or whether they're not, their spouse, their kids, they're still going to love them. So they throw that right out. But never, it's really hard to say, hey, can I do this for me? And I think that's really comes down to, especially with value, right? And that's something you really kind of touched on right there about value and what your value is as a woman. And I think that's what was really fun to really experience you step into, you having this shift of like understanding why your health was valuable for you to show up as a specific way so that you could be more effective in your purpose. Like we went back to that. You're like, now I got this purpose thing. What's Luke saying? And now we can actually pursue, now I can actually pursue it. So tell me more about, as you really started to assess like applicable steps for you of well-being, of taking care of yourself, like what were some of the big shifts for you that really said, hey, this needs to be a part of what I do?
Yeah, I think something that was huge that came into play when you came into my life and started chatting with me was patience, and that action can only come when action steps are planned out. So I think I was always like, I'm just going to eat this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to work out with this, but it was I never questioned the why. I never questioned the how am I going about this? And is this the correct way to do it? It was always like, I'm just going to do it because I want results tomorrow, And I think that was a huge thing we always came back to, was this results immediately. And I think a lot of women go through this feeling, and men, but I just know so many women that are like, oh my gosh, I feel so bloated today. So I'm just going to drink a ton of, this like nice juice that'll totally just flush me out. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's got to be more of a, how am I going to go about this so that it's a consistent feeling? And talking to you really helped me realize, okay, action will happen, but not without patience towards the mindset of how are we doing that action and why are we doing that action? And that really shifted a lot of game changers of goals being able to be not only reached, but set more realistically moving forward.
Wow. Haley, I love you. This is awesome. You're so great. And you're so gifted at just talking about your experience. And I think that's been one of the most unique things about it, because I'm not gonna lie, adults, people who have been around for a long time get stuck in their ways, and it's hard to shift and change. And I'm not saying young people can't shift in their ways either. They get stuck in their ways too. Trust me, I have 3 of them. And so, but what I'm saying is, it's great to see such an open spirit of you saying, like, like you want to work, and that's why I think what was so effective. One of the things that I start to recognize is in the symbiotic relationship that's formed. Even when I started to shift in line with what I wanted, I'm like, I gotta find people I actually like to work with. Like that's who I gotta. And it was just interesting because here's the one thing, and I think you need to get this out to people. It's not like you had this perfect A to B journey, and like Haley just stepped into Luke's program. It was like the light bulb went out, and like woo, it was flying colors, and woo, like, and then we showed up here on the call. We had a lot of tough conversations.
Oh, we did.
I think, like I think we had some silent moments at the end of calls, like, well, I hope you're doing well. I'll check in on you in a couple days. And my editor's like, you're like, oh, that kind of hurt. And I'm like, well, it wasn't. It was just like, for us, you were finally starting to see how you showed up. And I think that's why I think, like I said, it was so key for you. Like you decided to work on you. And then as soon as you made that decision, now you have to face you, right? And that's, I think most people that recognize the hardest part of the journey towards health is the journey inward. And that when you align with your mind, body, and spirit, I think, and this is the word you used the other day, and when we were doing our final call, Haley, we were like, hey, this is where you're at, this is where you're at. And we were just celebrating. It was just such a good call. I remember this, I said, well, describe me one of your successes. And you said, radiance. And I was like, boom! I was like, yes! So can you tell us, Haley, because that was like the highlight of like your face lit up. You had this huge smile when you said it. You totally owned it. Can you tell us about this new radiance that you have that's changed in your life?
Yeah, I think that a lot of times I came into this journey thinking I need to make huge steps to see huge goals, but it's really the little things. Like I started waking up and my skin would just feel a little bit more glowy. And I was like, this is a little bit more radiant, than when I was stuck in old ways and I was even feeling in a rut, like I'm doing everything I can. Why am I not seeing things? And honestly, the more honest I was with myself, and I know I'm not perfect, but I know that I'm working with honesty and I know that I'm pushing myself to the capabilities that I am, that's when everything started to change to just come more naturally for me towards feeling more positive about myself. I feel like when you feel good about who you are, it shows. And I think that people think that's crazy, but when I woke up and I was like, I killed it yesterday. I had a great HIIT workout, or I drank a ton of water with lemon, or I had some, a great new asparagus dish with chicken, even little things like that. You wake up and you look how you've been feeling on the inside. And that radiance has been immense for me recently.
Yeah, that's big. That's big. Well, Haley, I think we'll close up with this. And first of all, I just appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk with us and share your heart. I know right now, so many women are encouraged from hearing your story, because I'm telling you, one of the reasons why I got into this, this work is exactly what I'm seeing right here. Like if this is like, fitness was never about the fitness. It was never about the look. Now, mind you, the look is great. And it's just, and like you talked about, but once you shift and align with it, it just comes, right? It's alignment with the habit and the behavior that would put you in where you were like, I feel good about myself. I like myself in the mirror. I'm winning. And that was the shift for you, right? And the shift for you was really where so many, I think women are relating, like, I would love to have that. So if you could talk to someone, because there's probably someone watching this video right now, like, I've been wanting to reach out to Luke, but I just haven't reached out to Luke. I don't know why I haven't reached out to Luke. I'm going to do it on my own. I'll reach out. Can you talk to that person? Tell them why they should just reach out to me. We should have the first conversation about what they want to accomplish. Tell them why they should do that.
I think that, truthfully speaking, now I might only be 21, but I've looked up to many women in my life. I've lived long enough and gone through a lot of struggles and a lot of pain, which is part of the reason I saw you and was able to kind of get to the journey of where I am and continuing to grow, because I'm definitely not, I still have so much room and so many things left to do. But I would say that vulnerability unlocks fearlessness and unlocks empowerment. And so I would say that women always want to feel empowered because it's natural. We want to feel like we are winning, we are strong, and we are independent. And being able to unlock your truest emotions and how you feel inside will then translate to you becoming the best person that you are physically and on the outside. And I encourage any woman that wants to truly tap in and unlock that, if they've been struggling or if they feel like it's not something they really want to talk to people around them that are loved ones or family, you're a great resource because you're someone that can not only be there for support and help, but be there to truly push you and challenge some boundaries that may not have been tapped into yet.
Wow. I didn't have to say anything. Haley, you did great. This was your interview. This wasn't my interview. I really, first off, appreciate your kind words. Haley, first and foremost, I appreciate you. I celebrate your radiance and all of the work. Hey, I'm going to give a shout out to some people in Colorado. Whoever's watching this, Haley eventually is trying to get out there and she's going to make some moves. And I'm telling you, I know I have some friends in Colorado that make major moves. This girl, can you imagine her on your team? I'm just saying, opportunity. I'm throwing it out there, Haley. See what happens. We're just going to align with this and watch. Someone's going to reach out to you. Hey, Haley, let's talk. Where are you going next?
Anything's possible. I love it.
Still in Chicago. Awesome. But she's looking at Colorado, Denver in the future. I'm just planting that seed, right?
Yes, sir. That's beautiful.
Your family's like, what? What are you saying? Never mind. Hey, Haley, appreciate you. Thanks for taking the time. Friends, thanks for watching this. Hey, if you're on that fence and you're like Haley, you've been struggling with yourself and you don't know where to start. You have this goal that maybe it's a long weight loss, but you don't know why you need to shift and change. And you've been stuck in kind of circling that wagon for a long period of time. And you haven't found an anchor like Haley's talked about. If you're ready to find that anchor, you really need some motivation to make the shift and the change in order to see the radiance come through your life. Let's have a conversation. Reach out to me via Messenger. I'd be happy to put you in my schedule that we can and see what the next steps for us. So Haley, thanks for joining us. All you folks, thanks for watching. We'll see you later. Bye, Haley.
Bye.